nergens gevra vir 'n streamingkie of iets eers nie. So dit is so weird. Dat nou letterlik alles gewys, mooi gewys en nou wys dit net nie. Hy wys nie 'n preview nie. Dink ek moet net sê go live en kyk of hy preview dan wys.
Ja,
Ek sê dan
if it goes live, it goes live. Jy moet net vir my 'n indication gee.
wag, kyk dit nou. Weer gee kop maak so.
Just go on your LinkedIn and see if mine went live. Dis daai second level thinking wat ek oor gepraat het.
Ja, ek is op my level, maar dit was net live, maar niks van daai gewerk nie. Dit is nie so dit is so grappig soos ek sien jy.
Okay.
So weird.
Wanneer tyd was net time. In die vorige een moes jy mos 'n live tyd ingesit het. As hierdie een werk hierdie een nie so nie. Okay.
Well, this is live on YouTube. Dis ek op YouTube. Dis jy watching.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about AI and what I see is coming. And I think everyone that's been looking at this definitely over the last 5 years and how it's all evolved, I think initially just maybe in the business sense and thinking of all the ways AI can improve production. We're definitely using some AI stuff in figuring out content and what we want to talk to and giving it a lot of prompts to go do some deep research and deep dives into very complex topics that would take me sometimes weeks to research. I can get the full scope within minutes. And I've noticed that definitely the bigger players, and you've also seen a lot of information out there about Boeing and Airbus spending a heck of a lot of money and time and resources and poaching some of the best AI players in the game to come work on their machines to future-proof it. And then we're also noticing quite a lot of pushback from the industry, especially from the human resource side of things, saying that no one's ever going to fly with not even pilotless, single pilot crew, It's never going to happen, and a lot of people shouting about safety concerns around that. And I think I get it. I mean, on the one side, I understand there's a lot of role players in it, and especially from the union's point, unions have got no choice. The unions have got to make a big noise about it and talking about um, how it can never take over the jobs of pilots. It's the union's job. It's their position. They need to make a noise and fight hard for it, and that's great. They're doing their jobs and fulfilling those roles. But the truth is, we can see it coming, or I can see it coming as clear as day. And you can look at the research that already exists. I mean, Boeing and Airbus are saying quite staggering numbers. They're saying between the two of them, I'm averaging it out, they're saying we need 600,000 new pilots in the next 20 years, just if everything continues the way it's continuing now. And I always think that that's going to ramp up quite a bit. At the same time, if you look at the amount of wealth that's created all across the world and how relatively cheap it is now to fly, I can see that the need for air travel just exponentially increases, even higher than what is projected. But let's say this is right. Let's say we work on 600,000 new pilots, brand new pilots needed in the next 20 years. That works out to quite a bit. That works out to, I think, around about 30,000 pilots, new pilots a year. And the current stats, especially after COVID, looks like we're only doing about 15,000 new pilots a year. So, which brings a whole new layer of challenges. Because that means we, around 15,000 pilots a year short. That's quite the big gap. So, I don't think it's just going to be, or the drive isn't only around affordability, making it cheaper to fly. I almost don't think that's really an issue right now. I think the issue is going to be that there's simply not enough pilots to fly the machines. And that's all kinds of reasons. It's, people retiring, attrition, people just, getting out of the industry, doing something completely different. And also the emotional health side is something that I've been beating the drum on for a number of years, and it's something that, over my 15 years of working exclusively with pilots, I've noticed creep up more and more as the pressures increase, as you need to fly more, spend less time off, less and less rest time, more pressure. It becomes a really daunting and all-encompassing job, which just completely takes over. So a lot of people are looking at alternatives, looking very focused on exit strategies. So something I'm spending a lot of time on in my practice, I'm going to put my pilot insure hat on here, is figuring out from the financial side, how do we get guys to exit flying in 5, 10, 15 years time? Sometimes from scratch, and we develop and devise a plan out of that. But that's all, I think, part and parcel of that. For a lot of people, the idea of being a pilot was this amazing job, almost like the Top Gun look at it, the look and feel. And for, I'd say, half of the guys, it's ended up that way. It's a fantastic job. They love every second of it, every moment of it. And the other half is maybe a little bit disappointed in what it's like, or have reached that pinnacle, have spent 15, 20 years in the career, has become the captain in the major international airline, and is now looking for just more out of life. So that, I think, is going to be the big push in the AI space. I mean, Boeing is already, I just want to see the actual naming of this. I saw this video, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. The Boeing, I just want to get the exact uh, article here. It's on my phone. No, sorry. Airbus. I saw the video with Airbus and the autonomous taxi takeoff and landing project, and it was actually quite amazing to watch how that machine, that Airbus, actually did everything by itself, and that is such a big leap in that direction because it's like everything else. It takes a very long time to make that first move, and then after that, the tech just catches up. I mean, there used to be a stage where, in the tech space, we'd say, every 10 years, it improves by 100%. And then it was every 5 years, every 2 years. And now, in the face of a lot of machine learning, I feel like everything doubles in power and improvements maybe every 6 months. Now, that might not be applicable for the big companies like Boeing and Airbus, because that's like the pinnacle of safety. So I really believe these guys will put way more time and effort and energy into making sure everything's 100% safe. And then, of course, all the regulations and everything that'll come through, it'll be a massive job. And the other thing that I've heard a lot of people talking about is the idea that no one will actually fly. So one of my LinkedIn articles a couple months ago, I spoke about this as well. And I'd say the majority of comments was, well, no one's going to fly it anyway. Like, no, I'm not going to get into an aircraft that has a single pilot or no pilot at all. And I hear you, and that's fine, that'll be your prerogative. But I don't think in 20 years' time, we are really going to be the target market. In 20 years' time, the target market is today's 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds. They're going to be the people who are in the air the most. And they're already growing up with AI all around them. So I don't think they will need any convincing of this. I think it'll just be the way it is. And who knows? I mean, it'll probably start with single crew ops and then no crew, and then some combination of it where there's one crew on the aircraft, or maybe two, but one gets a lot of rest time. There's only their parts of flight. We'll see how that plans out. But for now, if you are a pilot, just have that in mind. Just keep that in mind of what the next 20 years could look like. Look, there'll still be lots of aircraft around that need pilots to fly them. It's not like they're going to bring out AI machines and then everything else is just going to the scrapyard. That's not going to work. But the way I see it is probably within the next 10 years, there's going to be a big spike, so like a spike up in need for pilots, and then it's going to taper somewhere on the top. The AI stuff's going to start kicking in, or the single pilot aircraft's going to start kicking in, then pilot this aircraft, and then it's going to taper down on the other end. And then eventually, in terms of pilots, the way we understand it today, will probably be the guys who are just flying the, let's say, legacy machines. So I don't think that the work and all pilots is going to disappear. Definitely not in our lifetimes, because some of these machines can fly for many, many, many years. But I do think it's very close to being a reality. And when I say very close to being a reality, sure, maybe you think it's only 10 years, 15 years away. We'll, 20 years away, we'll worry about it when we get there. But the truth is, if this is your livelihood, this is your occupation, this is what you do for a living, and you understand how the investment world works, and you understand the ideas of compound interest and how long it takes to really build up serious wealth and get yourself an exit strategy out of flying, you're going to want to set up, listen, take some notes now, put some plans in action, so that when that inevitable day comes, you are completely prepared and completely in control. So I talk a lot about being in control of your finances, just like you are in control of your machine. And I've done hundreds of polls and spoken to over 5,000 pilots in the last 15 years. And the biggest thing is always, the biggest question is always, what's that next step? What's the next step I should be doing? Add a layer of this to it. And I think right now your priority should just be to get your financial house in order. And a big part of that is the emotional health stuff. So that's my take on it. I wanted to quickly jump on in between meetings and have a little discussion around it. What do you think? How far do you think we are? Do you think it's all hogwash? It's never going to happen? Are you on Team AI? What do you think the next steps will be in this? We've built Captain Circle, and this is all about financial health and emotional health. We've got a whole bunch of courses there, boot camps, all these kind of things to help you align and to make sure that you are ready for whatever that looks like, and everything in between. This morning I had a very good few. This morning I had a very nice long conversation with Andrew Fasahi, who does all the emotional health stuff within Captain Circle, and we pulled down a lot of layers around emotional health and the importance of being 5 steps ahead of your emotional health, just like you are 5 steps ahead of the machine you fly every day. And it's about looking for triggers or understanding yourself well enough to understand where your triggers are. And it's all about how the brain works when it's under pressure or under threat, and how learning the triggers can then give you all the tools you need to 100% accurately deal with whatever life throws your way. And Andrew made a big 4-week course called You the Protagonist, and it's available on our Captain Circle school community, and it's completely for free. And it's a big 4-week course, and he did it on purpose. Look, it's short videos, it's maybe 10 minutes every day with a lot of writing that you do by yourself, but it's self-paced. You do it at your own time, which obviously works really nice as you're flying all over the place and you've just got a lot of other stuff going on. But what it does is it takes you back to your trigger points, helps you identify them. And the 4 weeks is very important because we all know it takes a long time. It's been proven that it takes at least 30 days to form a new habit. So there's a reason for it. There's a reason for the slow progression, methodical approach to working through the emotional health side of things, and really make you the protagonist of your own life, of your own story. So you are more than welcome to it. We've built it. The quality is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. And Andrew's a really good empath. He walks you through that entire journey in that 4 weeks. So you're welcome to head over to our school community, join it there. It's completely free. We've got 2 courses on there at the moment. Big emotional health course, and then also quite a big 30-day finance boot camp. In the next week, we are launching the 3rd boot camp. So there's one a month that starts. This is going to be the very final free 30-day boot camp. Honestly, it just takes up an extreme amount of my time, which I also need to be compensated for. And in this 30-day finance bootcamp on that side, we build all of this. So we build your hopes and dreams of the future. We take a snapshot of where you are right now. We look at property, businesses, all kinds of investments, offshore investments, local investments. We look at tax. We go deep dive in all of that with some of the industry's the biggest specialists to help us through. And the idea really of this 30-day boot camp is that after 30 days, you get out of there and you talk finance like a Harvard grad. And I've seen this happen. We're on our second one. I've seen people coming in there with so many questions and leaving the 30-day boot camp really inspired and in control of their finances. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic to get to the point where you know where you are. You've really worked a lot on your financial dreams and goals and where you want to be. And you've taken the time to understand the finance world, taken the time to actually build in the vectors to get you there. And we get to a point where it's as close to automated as you can get, and are making all the right decisions. And most importantly, you just know what at least what that next step is for you. And if you bring that all together, if you bring the emotional health together as well as the financial health with a lot of financial literacy. So like the 30 days, it's quite intense. It's 30 days, 30 topics. I have 3 live events with everyone in the 30 days. And I also, on average, do 2 one-on-one calls where it's me and you, and we look at your exact situation and plan and plot that out. But next month is the final free one. So I'll put a link in here somewhere, and you can find that and register for it. Or wherever you are looking this from, just comment bootcamp, and I'll send you some more information on that. And if you'd like to join the school community, you can just comment school, and we will get that to you. All right, that's all I have to say. Just a quick couple of minutes doing it a little live. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. All the best.